I am your host, Out to These Spells, the voice coach, not a voice coach, but the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, and Amazon bestselling author. And I'm excited. Y'all guys know it. I always get excited when I do the interviews for Speakeasy because we get to talk about some great things from one end of the spectrum to the other. And if this is your first time, we talk about the behind the scenes of what it is to be a speaker or an author. And so I know you saw the title for today, Scatterbrained and Lost. Because listen, I know. That was kind of an ouch when you saw the title. Some of you will probably like glance over the video simply because the title like hurt your heart. I understand it. I get it. But a lot of us, even though it's February and it was New Year, new me, January 1st, it's February, and some of y'all done got scatterbrained and lost. And so you don't know which way to turn. You don't know where to find inspiration, or you're on the other opposite end of the spectrum and you're looking everywhere and trying to grab from everything. And that's the scatterbrained part, right? So my guest today, he is Dr. Marilyn Porter. I'm super excited having her on today, but also because of the conversation that we're about to have. So could you say hi to the people?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on Out to These. I am super excited. And I actually didn't see the title, but I love the title because, of course, I'm the Scatterbrained Geniuses coach. And so I love that title. Yes. Love it.
Yes, indeed. And I know that, listen, guys. Y'all know #real talk. You guys know that we talk about the real stuff. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't fluff it up. But the reality is that mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, a lot of y'all are scatterbrained right now. And, I know it's Love Month and, we got all zit up and everything. And we went out on a date or for some, this is the day after Valentine's Day. So this is when you went on your date. We're not going to go there per se. And, but I mean, whatever your jizz is, that's for you. That's, your life. We don't judge on this side. We don't judge. But the reality is that we're still trying to figure out how to get our footing. Where's the foundation? And so the first question I want to present to you is, when it comes to being scatterbrained, first and foremost, let's be honest, because some people, we scatterbrained, but we don't think we're scatterbrained. We think we got it all together. We got organized chaos. Yeah. So let's talk about that. What does scatterbrained look like?
Oh my goodness. Scatterbrained looks like I can be an expert at everything. I can be an expert at everything at the same time. And I see myself excelling when I'm actually standing still.
Ooh, so you're a treadmill entrepreneur and business person. One of those people.
Right.
Oh, the fun time.
What a lot of people don't understand when they come to me and they say, where did the scatterbrain come from? And then where did the genius come from? Well, the genius of my scatterbrain is that I understand how to compartmentalize, right? Because even the Proverbs 31 woman was compartmentalizing. You know what I mean? She wasn't at home taking care of the kids at the same time she was in the marketplace. You dig? So we have to get it that, yes, we can be and do many things because we are many things. So we can do and be many things, but it's really difficult trying to be many things simultaneously because the chances are that nothing is getting done. You haven't mastered one thing, but you're claiming that you can do 7. Well, can you show me that you've mastered 1?
Oh, that's an ouch. We starting off early with the bricks. That's an ouch. Because the reality is I know in the beginning, when we think about being the speaker or being the author, we're like, I want to talk to everybody. I want to write for everybody. And we out here all over the place. Listen, you out trying to talk to the chickens and the hens, and your message is for the giraffe. Exactly. And guess what?
Exactly.
No success that way.
And you're frustrated. And you're frustrated, and you're jealous and envious of the people who are for the chickens, and they're talking to the chickens, and the chickens are clucking, right? Because they talking to the right people. So you're frustrated, and you're angry, and you hating on other people, and you're not understanding, well, I'm an author, a speaker, a coach, a this, a that. She or he is an author, a speaker, a coach, but why are they hitting the 7 figures? Well, they're hitting the 7 figures because they figured out what their sweet spot is. Yes, you can speak. Yes, you can write books. Yes, you can run a retail store, but you have to figure out where you make the most impact. And wherever you make the most impact is where you're going to make your coins. Everything else is just extra, right? So we say we're speakers, authors, coaches, we're experts, we're this, we're that. But you really are one thing. You're one thing that has several outgrowths. So whatever your real sweet spot is, that's really what people are looking for you to get. So I know that my words are anointed, whether I write them, whether I speak them, whether I rap them, whatever. Whether I tag them on the side of a subway train, I know that my words are anointed. So I know that when people come to me, whether they come to me as coaching, consulting, if they come to me and say, hey, Dr. Porter, I want to write a book, whatever they come to me for, I know that when I open my mouth and speak, that's what's going to touch their soul. So I get that it's my words that are the most beneficial to me and my audience. Now, do I do other things? Absolutely. I get that money, but I understand what draws people to me. And that is what I hone in on. So I call myself the scatterbrain genius. The genius comes from me figuring out how to operate in several different lanes, right? Because you don't have to stay in one lane. You can own the highway, but you can't drive in every lane simultaneously. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh, you didn't say a word. I did a speech in May of last year, and it was you showing up to a NASCAR race in a soapbox car. And literally, that's what a lot of people are doing. And people were like, oh, I said, yes, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You showing up to somewhere that is razzle dazzle, somewhere where, look, they paint job looks amazing. They got sponsors. They got this, they got that. Wow. And you in a soapbox car for a couple different reasons. And it all leads back to being that scatterbrain, because you all over the place. Instead of you focusing on what it is you needed to do, honing in on your gift, or investing in the necessary help.
So listen, I'm laughing because when you're talking about the soapbox car, I'm imagining like Fred Flintstone with the feet. You don't even got no wheels. You know what I mean? You don't even got no wheels on the car. All I just see is like little feet. You don't even got no wheels. You are like it's archaic. You're trying to, in modern day times, you running around like a caveman. So I just saw like little Fred Flintstone feet. But you're absolutely right. And so let me speak to the investing in the cultivation of your gift, because this is where a lot of people get it twisted. Well, I have a God-given gift to do this. Or I have a God-given gift to do that. Listen, can we just be real? Everything that we know how to do is God-given. That's just the reality of it all, right? But even, even in the ministry, right, your gifts still have to be cultivated. Your gifts. So listen, seminary is where people go when they're gifted to preach, right? So that their gift can be cultivated. Guess what? Seminary costs just as much money as Georgia State College up the road from me. That's an investment. And so we have got to get past God anointed me to do this. Okay. He anointed the Apostle Paul too, but Paul was a very learned man. He had taught with Gaius and the Pharisees, and he understood it. Why? Because his family had invested in him getting the knowledge. See, people think the miracle of Damascus Road, oh my God, all of a sudden, Paul was persecuting the Christians, and they don't realize that Paul had sat at the feet of the greatest religious teachers of his time. So it wasn't like, oh my God, how did he get all this knowledge? His family had invested for him to sit at the feet of the greatest religious teachers of their time. So we have to really get past this whole, God anointed me to do this. Listen, God anointed me to breathe, but I don't dive in the ocean and try to breathe under the water. You know what I mean? I'm anointed to breathe, but I don't try to do it in an unfamiliar territory. I'm not a fish. I'm a human being. So if I dive in the ocean, hey, listen, that anointed breath that God gave me, I know how to hold it or grab me an oxygen tank, right? Because I know I can't breathe in an unfamiliar territory. I'm not a fish. Same thing. We have got to get past this, what God gave me. God did give it to you, and He's also given you the resources to tap into the people that are gifted and anointed, right? Because just like you gifted and anointed, so are your teachers, your coaches, you know what I'm saying? They're gifted and anointed to help you cultivate your gift to the next level. So we have got to get past what you're anointed to do, what you're gifted to do. Baby, you still need it to be cultivated. And that means coaches. It may mean college for you. It may mean, some other type of training for you. But whatever you are claiming your gift is, you got to get that thing cultivated. Because when it's not cultivated, it's not going to do you any good. And this is the real kicker right here. You can't give it to the people that it belongs to because it hasn't been brought to life yet. Because it's not even for you. It's not even for you. And so you become a thief when you don't give people their stuff.
Look, ooh. So we got to think about this. When we think about this whole process of becoming a speaker, becoming an author, even becoming an entrepreneur, you got to think about it in the same way. I went through the process of my children at the age of 10, you can start helping out in the kitchen and everybody gets their own night to make dinner. Like they're all in high school, or one's in middle school and the other 3 are in high school. Everybody has their own night that they make dinner, but you had to learn the process. And so each of them went through that beginning stages of making pancakes. Can we talk about that process? We talk about how in the beginning, when you go and you do the pancakes, all you worried about is it cooked on the outside? Come on.
Okay.
Is it cooked on the outside? Does it look pretty on the outside? So
right.
some of you literally get into the mindset that is it pretty on the outside? Because if it's pretty on the outside, then it's done. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. And then you got people out here telling you, oh, you got to come on with the makeup on. You got to come on and your nails look, nails, listen, you got to come on and the hair is done. And you got to be glitz and glam and your background got to be, listen, you worried about the wrong things. Because as soon as somebody bite into that pancake, it's mushy on the inside. It ain't fully done. And you out here making people sick.
That's right. And so this whole outward thing, can I tell you that, and I'm not against pretty, right? Because I consider myself to be a pretty woman, right? I'm not against pretty, but pretty, right? Pretty can be a distraction. Pretty can be a distraction when that's all you're looking for is someone who looks pretty. It can be such a distraction because you may be looking for the long two-tone weave and the perfect eyebrows and the the lips is lined just right. And you know what I mean? You looking for that diamonds on the neck, you know, all the nails, all the pretty little nails, got the cute little tattoo on that. Ain't nothing in here. Nothing. Ain't nothing in here, but get this out to bees. This is the kicker. Ain't nothing in here. Ain't nothing in their heart. So all they want to do is take your money. Now, mind you, you might have the sister who been running around all day with 2-3 kids. She done had to cook dinner. She done had to clean the house. It's all she can do to make it to the phone call or to make it to the webinar. She looks disheveled, but that sister got some knowledge and some compassion that can change your life. But you so busy looking for lipstick and weaves.
Look, you better say it. And it's so funny. Medora said, okay, ask my 15-year-old self about pretty fried raw chicken.
Yes, exactly. And mushy pancakes.
Yo, he out here giving people raw food. Talk about we feeding the people. You ain't feeding nobody. You sitting in the hospital.
Giving them salmonella poison.
It is so true, guys. And you got to understand that literally no matter what business you are doing, no matter what area, no matter what genre, no matter what people you are sitting in front of, whether you are going live or sitting in front of people, 100 people, 50 people, 5 people, no matter what, if it's not done fully and done to the greatest capacity, then you feeding people raw stuff.
Yeah. And not raw in the capacity of like just giving it to them raw and uncut. No, you giving them like bloody, diseased. You know what I mean? You know, you giving it to them like if this flies in the area, the flies probably done came over there because they smelt the blood. You know what I mean? You messing folks up. You sending people to the ER.
Oh, wait, because then you just said it. Oh, my goodness. So, guys, if y'all haven't shared out the broadcast, you definitely want to share it out. Join in the conversation. Y'all can go ahead. I'm watching y'all in the comments. Y'all go ahead and comment. But listen, you just said something that was so profound, and I'm going to rewind it and replay it. Is that literally when you are doing things but what ends up happening is you draw the sharks because they smell the blood. And so the people that are coming to take advantage of you, it's because they see that you out here just throwing anything out. You don't have any structure. You don't have any goals. You don't have a strategy. And so they're like, oh, I see a sucker.
And you by yourself. Don't have no tribe. Don't want to collaborate with nobody because you so smart they might steal your ideas. So you by yourself. So the sharks coming, they ain't even got to get through nobody to get to you because you by yourself anyway.
Ooh, you better say that. I know that I have seen, and I always tell people, buyers beware. I've talked to my clients and said, listen, what you'll do is you'll go into a group. They got all these thousands and thousands of people, and you'll say, I need a coach. And you see all the sharks come.
Yep.
You're going to see all the sharks. They coming for you.
Yep.
Why? Because you put yourself out there.
Right. And so this is what happens. This is what happens in an instant like that. This is what they know. This is what sharks and vultures know. For you to come into a room as a newbie where there are thousands of people that you don't know and they don't know you and make a blanket statement of what you need, they know, oh, they don't research. So I can tell them anything. I can show them anything. They don't research. So whatever I feed them, they're going to eat it. And I'm going straight to the bank. I'm going straight to the bank because they don't do research. Because you don't walk into a room full of strangers and bare your heart. You cultivate a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You cultivate a relationship. And so I have the very first coach that I ever worked with, when I say worked with, I mean that I gave them my money, because I worked with a few people, right? You know what I mean? Like, can we just be real? I worked with a few people. The very first person that I felt worthy of my coins was Danielle Winningham. She's the very first coach that I worked with. It took almost 6 months of her and I just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When I finally decided, and this might not ring, this might not ring a bell for anybody, but this is the real truth. What finally made me give her my money, she got so down and dirty with me one day. She said, she posed this, and I felt like, if she can ask me that question, oh yeah, she looking out for my best interest. Let me go on, scrape up these dollars and give them to her. But she said, Marilyn, you are giving me a effing headache. Why ain't you making no money? You are too smart, too bold, and too visible. You are giving me a headache. I said, hold on. She done called my cold card. I'm no longer a stranger to her, because not only did I do my research, but she did hers too. She did hers too. So she was worthy of I'm a single mom, one kid in college, one on the way. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have a 9-to-5. So my money really matters. But I realized that she had done her research on me. Now, let me tell y'all something. When you run into a coach, a consultant, whatever you want to call it, guru, expert, and they have paid enough attention to you to run back to you, I see what you're doing. I see how you're showing up. I see your following. Why ain't you making no money? And so initially I was thinking, why are you looking at me like that?
Right? Why you all in my business though? Why you all
look, are you trying to hire me? Like, why are you paying so much attention? But she had done the homework on Marilyn Porter, and I respected that. And so she knew enough about me that we weren't strangers anymore. So let me give y'all a tip. You don't hire strangers as coaches and mentors. You hire people who value you enough to know something about you, So you gotta at least know that I'm a mother. You gotta at least, like, you gotta know some fun facts about Marilyn Porter before you get my money. That's all I have to say about that.
Ooh, and you know what's funny is that people always get it twisted. Y'all know I'm real. Hashtag real talk in the comments. Y'all know I'm real. People always get it twisted. And so when things don't work out the way that they thought it was going to work out, because they were looking at the person, and they the person making 6 and 7 and 8 figures. And so they immediately thought that they were going to make 7 and 8 figures. And then it's, oh, well, that person didn't know what they were doing. No. I learned that in this industry, and if this offends you,
the shoe fit,
get over it. Listen, I've learned that in almost 5 years as an entrepreneur, I rebranded. It's been almost 3 years after my rebranding. I've learned that a lot of times the mistakes in our business are our fault.
Yep. Yeah. So can I tell you that I just recently onboarded a new client, and I have another client who has been working with me for about a year now, and she's doing really well. She's doing phenomenal. A lot of visibility, got a lot going on. When you say her name, everybody like, oh yeah, she doing her thing. The new client that has only had one session with me actually came to me and said, well, do you give all your good stuff to her? And I thought, So you think that you, who's only been working with me for really 90 minutes, you think that you, who has been working with me for 90 minutes, should be doing what this person who has been in my circle for years, but has been my official client, a paid client for about a year. You think, by any stretch of the imagination, do you think that I have poured into you anywhere close to what I've poured into her? That's number one. Number two is, just because I am someone's coach does not mean that I am their God. Just because I'm your coach don't mean I'm your God, right? So just because I can give you tips and strategies don't mean that I have the ability to make you go do your part. That's just what it is. That's just what it is.
And I think, you know, again, that's some of those things that we get it twisted because we have the wrong perception when we come into the industry. We have the wrong idea of what success looks like. Can we look at that? Because listen, some of y'all still think success is equated by the dollar signs and not realizing that the success of your clients is what you look for. Because I can make money and guess what? Have 90,000 people who have signed up for my classes and products and services, and not one of them be changed.
Listen, this is the number one question. The number one question that should be on everybody's mind when you are seeking a coach or a mentor. And you may have heard this before, but this is the number one question, and it should definitely be a part of the initial conversation. Can you handle it if I become more successful than you?
Go on and say ouch in the comments on that one. Go ahead. Y'all can say it.
Because what you said is right. The success of your client, right? That's your billboard. That's your riding down I-85. That's the billboard. You know what I mean? So for me, right, as a mother, as parents, you say you want your children to do better than what you did. That's the same way I feel about my clients. I'm okay with being a coach that's kind of behind the scenes, but my clients is shouting me out every day. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people saying, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know she was working with you. And it's like, how come I know her, but I don't know you? Well, I don't need you to know me, but you know my work. Check my swag. How about that?
You better say that.
How about that?
She said, how about that? Catch them coins. How about them apples?
How about that? How about that? So yeah, we got to get some things. We got to get some things in perspective in this industry, because what's happening is good, well-intentioned, well-meaning, kind-hearted, compassionate people are getting bad names because they're onboarding lazy clients who think that your coach got like this magic potion that can make you not be lazy, that can make you not be ratchet, that can stop you from gossiping, you know, all of that. I'm just keeping it real. You said we could keep it real, so I'm just keeping it real.
No, that's right. She said, help you not be. There is no magic pill to stop ratchetness.
No. Listen, and you know, I am a woman of the cloth. I preaches. Listen, I don't even pretend to be able to lay hands on you to stop ratchetness. That is like really between you and Jesus. Like you really, it don't need to be no middleman. It just need to be you and Jesus, okay? Oh my, see how you got me acting on this show today?
Said it need to be you and Jesus. That's one of the moments where you just go, baby, just go on up to the altar and lay there.
Just you
lay there till you get your answer. Just lay right there.
Yeah, just you and Jesus. Listen, the curtain has been ripped. It don't need to be it just need to be you in Jesus when it comes to certain things. Stop thinking that you can hire a coach, right, to make you act in integrity. You cannot hire a coach to cause you to act in integrity. And so what do I mean? I'm not saying that you're a liar, right? But you are. If you're not acting in integrity, you are a liar. But that's not what I'm saying. But I want you to know that if you're out of integrity, you're a liar. They go hand in hand. You can't be a truth teller and a truth seeker and a truth giver, you know what I mean, and be out of integrity. It don't work like that. But you have to stop thinking that your coach can make you operate in integrity, meaning they can't give you the work, right? And then make you function in an integrous manner and do it. They can tell you what the tips and the strategies are. But when they're not around, when they're not on the phone with you, when they're not on the live with you, when you're not, excuse me, in the same room with them, they can't be looking over your shoulder. And then this is what gets me. And then because you're not in integrity, you want to lie and you want to say that you're doing the work. Whoa, but every good coach knows what their results look like. A good coach knows what their results. If I got 20 other clients who are doing exactly what you're doing and they all booming and you ain't, oh, baby, I know what my results look like. And you ain't it.
She said, and you ain't it.
So we have to stop. We have to stop blaming, because check this out. Just like I'm a coach and you a coach and we have coaches and our coaches have coaches, it's a trickle down effect. So why is that everybody in the trickle down is successful, but it get to you and it ain't trickling no more? That's not us, baby. That's you. That's you. You stopping the flow. So don't go writing, subliminal messages on Facebook and telling your friends, oh, I wouldn't work with her, because this is the thing. Then you get blood on your hands, right? Because you might be stopping the next person from getting to the person that's anointed to take them to the next level just because you was a dud. You didn't do the work.
So if you're just joining, yeah, you walked in on that good tornado. You walked in on that good word. If you just joined in, make sure that you go back and catch the replay so you can get the rest of that good, juicy word. Because the reality is that you're watching the Speak Easy podcast, and we're talking about that behind the scenes of what it is to be the speaker, the author, and always the entrepreneur. And the reality, because guess what? Hashtag real talk. If we keep covering things up, if we keep trying to baby people and try to make it seem like, oh, that was a bad person, this was a bad person, it wasn't always them. Sometimes it was you. And so now we got to have, that's a part of that scatterbrain. Because can we be honest? A lot of y'all are scatterbrain because you won't do any self-evaluation.
That's right. And so, listen, so ultimately, I call myself the scatterbrained geniuses coach, but it really translates to intense personal development. That's what that means. Intense personal development. You have to take the time to develop self. And so this is a question that I asked, and some of them may be watching. This is a question. I have a private group, and I asked a question. In the very first week that I launched the group, I asked a question: are you an influencer? And I asked that question because I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to be honest with themselves about themselves. Are you an influencer? Everybody said yes. This is what I came back and said. Influencers sell out programs and fill rooms. So let me ask that question again. Are you an influencer? Get real about yourself. Get real about the impact that you're making or not. Get real. It doesn't mean you won't fill a room someday. But I think we get the whole speak those things as though that are not as though. I think we get that there's a difference between speaking those things and telling lies. So we got to get real about who we are and how we show up in the world and the impact that we're making. And is it a positive impact?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a positive impact? Because just because you're showing up and saying some words and selling some product, it doesn't mean that it's a positive impact. Because listen, for years, I'm going to tell you what helped me get my mind right and my pricing. This is what, for years, I had people who were working with high-end coaches. I'm talking investing over a 12-month period between $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But was coming in my inbox for free. What? I had to get my mind right. Because I was like, no, you the fool. Because they're investing their money to be able to say they worked with so-and-so. But then they coming over to you for free to get the real information. So I'm watching what they're implementing, and I know they're implementing my strategies, but they're attaching another name to it so they look like they're a part of that tribe. We got to get our minds right. We got to get our minds completely right. Stop looking for the glitz and the glam and the Bentleys and the private jets. Do you listen? I got a couple friends that are multi-millionaires. Let me tell y'all a secret. Do y'all know that most people who have that kind of money don't even really buy that kind of stuff? They just rent it for the sake of what it looked like. They don't even waste their money on that kind of stuff. Not for real, they don't. They don't waste their money. So stop looking at all of that, because people that really, really, really got that kind of cheddar, they not spending it on that nonsense. We got to stop.
As I know for sure enough.
We got to stop.
People be like, oh, well, you're doing this and you can do that and you can travel and you can do that. And I'm like, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. No. And they're looking at me and they're like, but you're working for yourself and you should be doing all of these different things. No, but I'll be debt free by the end of 2018. No.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I got a couple of friends that, got long money, generational money, and they still share, expensive items with other millionaires. Literally. Okay, I'll pay for the first 2 months of the jet. You pay for that's literally how they roll. They're not out here doing Do you really think that somebody that knows the ways of the world and how money really works, because you gotta know how money works, do you really think they out here posing with Bentleys and stuff? Now they know the city that they live in. And you really think they giving people access to be able to get to them? Really? No, it doesn't work like that. So stop it. Stop looking at what you think is where you want to be. Because if we were to really just pull down all of the nonsense, all of the shenanigans, most of the people that you watching really live right around the corner from you. Same kind of house, same kind of car, wearing the same kind of clothes, probably got a couple of knockoff Louis Vuittons. I'm just keeping it real.
So it's so funny because I gotta do a little sidebar, and it's so funny because I think about, I always looked at people that had jets and I was like, oh my goodness, they must have paid so much money for this jet. And then I found out that you can rent.
Yes.
That you can buy in. Timeshare. It's like a timeshare for jets. Yes. And I was like, yes. You mean tell me? Yes. I'm out here looking like y'all got these little jets and y'all rolling through the skies like it's your personal joint, and it ain't. It's just you got you personally in it at the moment.
At the moment.
And then I said, okay, all right. I said it's maybe one day that'll be something on the list. And then I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. So I was on a trip, And I said, all right, I'm on my way back home. And, normally you get into a flight airplane pretty big. Well, I got onto a flight where I had to walk out. First of all, they were like, well, you got to walk. There's not enough space and this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, things happen on the flight. They overbook sometimes, things like that. All right, no problem. And then they said, well, yeah, your bag isn't going to fit on the plane. Why ain't it? It fit everywhere other planes. Why it's not going to fit on this plane? What's wrong with y'all plane? Something wrong with y'all plane? Let me know now. Is there something wrong with y'all plane? Yeah. And they were like, no. It's just we have to put it into, we got to put it into with the rest of the luggage. And I said, oh, okay, well, not a problem. Y'all, when they told me I had to walk out on the thing to get to the plane, I said, hold it. Now wait. Now listen. I walked through this little hallway to get to the plane. Why I gotta go outside to get to the plane? I promise you. I walked out there and it was this little itty plane, and I was sitting there going. I said, okay, so in my mind, I'm like, all right, so you about to get this whole, jet feel. Like you about to be like, oh, ooh, yeah. Flying, yes, small plane. I got it. I done made it. Come up. Man, them little planes for every bit of turbulence.
Yes. Yes.
Kimberly said a crop duster. I was like, this plane for every bit of turbulence. And then the funniest piece of it, so listen, y'all know I'm transparent, y'all. Y'all know I tell it all. I was on the plane and I'm in the back. I had never been on a plane this small. And the little piece came down. We about to land. The little piece came down for the landing gear to come down. Lord, I thought the plane's falling apart. Jesus, don't let me die in the little plane.
Don't let me die. I think I'm balling right now. Don't let me die.
And I immediately was like, you're not supposed to think higher of yourself than you ought. Listen, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm not a baller yet, Jesus. Please don't let me down this little
Exactly. Yeah, like.
But it's so funny because some of y'all literally, that would be where you're putting yourself at when it comes to your business, is that you so busy trying to be on this high society status that you done walked out to the plane and all of this and all. And it was listen, and then you get on there and you don't know how to handle it.
Number turbulence. That's right.
What turbulence?
Number turbulence. Yes.
Right, Medora said repenting, right? Jesus, yes. Please don't let this be the day that the pilot don't make it, Jesus. Please let this not be the day. This not today. Not today.
Oh my goodness. Hilarious.
So y'all know I'm silly. That's just me, y'all. I it was my first time ever on that little itty bitty plane. Now I always check to make sure I'm not on a little itty bitty plane no more.
Yeah. So if you ever get a private plane, it's gonna have to be a Boeing 757, huh?
If I'm on a private plane, I need to have space. Because then not only was it small, but the seats was small, and it was horrible, y'all. It was ratchet. It was. I won't tell y'all the company, but it was it was ratchet. It was a ratchet moment. Yeah.
But that's a great example though of
that's how it is.
That was a perfect visual.
It's oh, I got it. I gotta look. I took a picture of after I made it. Listen, after we landed, I turned around and took a picture of the plane because I was like, oh look, and then in my mind I was like, girl, I don't know if you would ever make it on a jet because we might just have to keep doing first class.
But that's how they really are. Like I've been on a few private jets. That's how they really are. That's how and then not only are you flying the friendly skies, but sometimes you ain't even on the radar, like the big plane. You ain't even on the radar. Don't nobody even know you out there.
Listen, big planes is coming up missing. Can we talk about that? Listen. So y'all need to really be out here and thinking, what is going to be my process? How am I going to get this done? Investing in a coach is a great way to do that. Making sure that you have some stuff written down. But this is my thing. Investing in a coach, you see how I put them together? Investing in a coach and writing things down go together. Why? Because you can pinpoint exactly where you need to go, what you need to do. Because if you have one without the other, either you always pointing or you always giving somebody the thumbs up because you going by whatever they say.
What they say.
No.
Right. That's right. That's right.
We can't be doing that anymore. We got to pinpoint exactly what we need to do for our business. And again, you guys know, if you've been following the broadcast for any length of time, you know that if you are a speaker or an author, you are also an entrepreneur. So you have no excuse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like if you are a business owner of any kind, I don't care if you own a bakery. I don't care if you walk dogs. I don't care if you wash cars. Whatever you do as an entrepreneur, you automatically become a speaker. You automatically become a speaker because there are always going to be times where you have to speak on behalf of your business. So you automatically become a speaker. You automatically so you don't have to call yourself a speaker. It don't change the fact that you are.
Come on. That's just like, I know we had Felicia Day on. She was a certified public accountant. And, you know, we were talking and she was like, just because you did not go and register your business does not mean you're a business. If you're taking in money for products and services, you're a business.
You're a business. That's right. That's right. So don't think, look, ignorance of the law doesn't negate the law. Don't think that just because you don't want to say it, don't mean it's not happening.
Like, ooh, you mean tell me I couldn't just take this soda because I was thirsty. But I ain't from here though. I ain't know that was the law here. That's the law here.
That's the law here, and you got to follow it. and listen, and the judge might be a little sympathetic for you while they're carting you off to the holding cell.
Exactly, right? And so I always ask every author that comes onto the broadcast, literally, what has been a blunder for you on this journey? So we always talk about, you know, it could be the first book, the second book, and the speaking opportunity. They know that I've shared wardrobe malfunctions and all types of stuff going on.
I'm going to have to say that my biggest blunder is not fully understanding the impact of my own words. And that is, excuse me, and it was so major, it might not seem like a blunder to just say, oh, I didn't realize the impact of my own words, but it had such a major impact that I had to regroup. Like I literally had to like grab myself, like pull myself back and say, hold on. There are people out there listening to you and they're running like really fast, like they're sprinting. They're like, and you kind of laid back like, wait a minute, hold on. So I was saying things that was causing people to move faster than I realized. And so essentially, I was leaving myself behind. So I was giving other people the fuel to run, and I wasn't realizing that, wait a minute, they're listening to me. So why am I not moving at a particular speed? So why am I not moving at a particular speed? So it took me and this was in my first book actually, and people, the testimonials and the things were coming in, and so I had to do a deep dive into my personal development. I had to do a deep dive into my personal development and realize that I was out there functioning in the world, giving good word, teaching good lessons, coaching really well, consulting, doing all of that. And there were some broken pieces inside of Maryland. So I was essentially stuck in my own pain, but I was speaking healing. I was speaking life. I was speaking do this, do that. And it was working, but I was absolutely stuck in my brokenness. And so that was my biggest blunder, because I realized now that I was running the risk of poisoning people. Like we talked about, I was running. So now I realize it. That's why I can speak so deeply to that. Because now I realize that I very well could, to God be the glory, the grace of God that didn't happen, because I am anointed to speak, right? So I give that credit to the Holy Spirit, not to me, because I was a broken mess, but it was just the grace of God that I wasn't speaking brokenness into other people. So now I can look back and now realize like that was huge. And so that's really when personal development became my thing. So, they say it's like normally like your biggest pain point is where your purpose will come from. And so that's really when I was like, this thing is really about personal development, because I walked that out myself. So my biggest blunder was speaking things that were so ahead of me, but not because I didn't realize that I was broken and I was taking such a chance on damaging the lives of other people because I was still damaged myself.
So
I hope that answer made sense.
Oh, it made plenty of sense. Plenty of sense. I'm trying to see which way I want to go with this. Because I'm like, so, oh my goodness. Because when I think about as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of times where we get to a point and we're focused so much on our clients that our own brand falls by the wayside.
Yep.
And so the client stuff looks amazing and ours looks like trash.
Right. Because that's what we're feeling. But that's what we're feeling trash. That's what we're feeling. Yeah. Yep.
And then I want to say that, as now when it came to the self-development part, now that's a big piece of it. Because I found that the last 2 years, because I did more self-development, it also not only developed me, it developed my business, it developed my family, it developed everything that's attached to me. And so I think people forget that piece. They think self-development is just me saying, I am rich, and then going on with the day.
Girl, listen, I'm over here about to jump through this ceiling because you literally just spoke to exactly what I tell my clients. I'm not a business coach, but if you work with me to develop yourself, it's going to help your business. I'm not a relationship coach, but if you work with me to develop you, it's going to help your relationship. I'm not a parenting coach, but if you work with me to develop you, it's going to help you be a better parent. So you got me over, girl. I done started sweating because listen, you just gave me a commercial. Like, this is like, can we like clip that part out? Can we run that back? That's my commercial.
And it's so true. I found that literally in the last 2 years, and I tell my clients that all the time. So I'm always giving them books to read. I'm always giving them self-empowerment things that they need to do. Yes. I'm always telling them, okay, when they tell me, oh my goodness, coach, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm kind of playing around with stuff, I tell them, stop, sit down, and do a brain dump.
Yes.
Stop whatever you're doing. Stop whatever you're promoting. Stop. Sit down and just do a brain dump. And that brain dump should include a couple different things. It should include, okay, what's in my mind right now? How much it is that I need to make for the month, how much I want to make for the month, and what the ideas in my head are going to equate to that.
Yeah, right.
You got to go back to that process. And I have clients that have been with me for a year and a half, and I still go, stop.
Yep.
Do a brain dump.
Go back. That's right.
Go back to that process.
Go back.
What have you been listening to? What have you been reading? Like, what are you putting in? Because you can't get the right stuff to come out if you're not putting the right stuff. Come on.
That's right. That's right.
I don't think they listening today.
That's right.
Know.
That's right. That's absolutely right. If you're not putting it in, it's not miraculously just gonna come flowing out. So that's why. So that is really, you asked me that question, and it's like that really is how I landed in the scatterbrained genius personal development status, is because I realized that I had to fully develop me. Now, when I say fully develop, y'all don't get me twisted. Don't think that I'm saying I have arrived, because personal development is every day. You are constantly working that thing out. Because we're emotional beings. So you may feel like you can walk on water today and one wrong thing can happen and you got to pick yourself back up off the floor. So it's a constant thing. But when I tell you that developing yourself is the best gift that you can give to your business, trust me. Trust me.
That's it. All the time. And my clients are always saying, oh my goodness, coach, how did you come up with that? Where did that come from?
Been through it. Yeah, because I've been through something. And I know what I had to do to get myself together so I can tell you what to do. Or, we can be a little creative with it. We can add a little something here. You know what I mean? But just depending on who you're dealing with, because I know God deals with me raw. Like I'm raw, and he deals with me raw. But some people can't take raw. Like raw would send some people, to the fifth ward. So you have to realize, okay, this is how I had to do it. But baby girl can't take it like that. So let me break this thing down into bite-sized chunks. But the bottom line is, I don't care how many other types of coaches or mentors you have. I'm all for business coaches. I'm all for writing content coaches. I'm all for book. I'm for all of that. But if you are not doing the work, and notice I didn't say you have to have a personal development coach, because the truth of the matter is you don't. It can fast forward the process for you because you have somebody who's already walked through the landmines. But if you're not doing something to develop yourself, all that other money you paying all them other coaches, you wasting your money, because without proper development of you, you don't have the capacity to grow anything else.
You just said that. Oh my goodness. Okay, listen, I'm looking at the time because I'm like, okay, like I know I don't want to hold her all day, y'all. So I'm in my finally brothering moment right now. So I'm like, I don't want to hold her all day, but it's so good right now. But when I think about it, a lot of times we waste so much time and money. Simply because we won't get our things written down, get our thoughts in order, get a strategy together. And so there's often times where people will say, I can't afford. Immediately, that's the first words out of their mouth is, I can't afford. And so I know that in this process, in investing in a coach, in, taking the trips and going to the conferences and the things that I have invested in, I know the process that I went through. I went through and sold all the DVDs. I went through and turned off the cable, wasn't watching it no how. I went through and ended the gym membership that wasn't going to know how.
That's right.
So a lot of times, if we just take a moment, just a moment,
Pause.
and sit there and really put some things on paper and do that I'm gonna say the B word, y'all. A budget. I know. I need my hand slapped for saying that B word. I need my mouth washed out with soap. But some of y'all need to learn how to budget. Because if you budgeted the right way, then you would find that you have a whole lot more money than what you think.
Yeah, you will come up. You will find what you need. You'll find what you need. You will definitely. I had to. And so there are some stories that you can come at me with, and I'm like overly compassionate, right? But there are some stories that you might think you can pull on my heartstrings, but you can't, right? Because I had 3 children and did not have a full-time job, had been married my whole adult life and have been a stay-at-home mom, right? So as having money goes, I really didn't have money for coaches. I literally did not have money. Like, I had to come up with ways. There was no way for me to even budget into having the money. I just had to generate money to pay to have coaches. So you can't come at me with the I can't afford it story. I got no compassion for that because I know what I went through. You know, like, I grew up in the hood. I grew up around dope dealers and so you can't come at me with the I'm a product of my environment. See, there are some stories that you can't come at me with them. I got no compassion for them stories because I've been through it. And I know that you can come out of it shining like a new penny. I can't do nothing with some of them stories.
Woof. I know people that say that on a regular basis.
Nope, you can't get that off.
And no. I kind of look and go, no. I know what I invested in my business and my brand. I know what my clients invest. I know what my business family, my business sisters and business brothers that I've connected with, I know what they invest in their business. And no, I've watched them lose it all. I've watched them, start over from scratch. I've watched them invest in something and it didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. And so somebody who hasn't seen all of that, they would look at you and say, oh no, you just being too tough.
No.
I'm being the push that you need off that cliff.
That's right.
Because you walking around with the parachute on your back, standing at the edge of the cliff, just standing there. Talk about you can't do it.
With the ripcord in your hand.
Talk about you can't do it. And I said, it's when I look at, and I love Periscope for this because you can see everything and anything on Periscope. When I look at the videos on Periscope, I came across somebody who was doing base jumping. And they were teaching people how to base jump. And there was two types of jumpers. There was not 20 different types of jumpers. There were 2. It was one type of jumper that could pull their own ripcord. And it was another one where the instructor had to hold. And when they jumped, they pulled. And that was how your parachute came out. See, some of y'all are running around here holding the ripcord, thinking that you can handle it. And in all actuality, you need to be with somebody that's going to pull it for you when you jump. Now, you can get to the point where you can pull your own ripcord, but don't think that you can always start out that way.
That's good. I love it. That's good. That is good. I love it. So yeah, get you a cord puller.
Okay, get you a cord puller. One who know how to do it right. Because listen, you don't want somebody doing it wrong.
Now see, but remember, it goes back to saying you gotta know, like you gotta do your research. Cause or if you about to jump off of the side of a mountain, you better trust that that person gonna pull that cord. So you gotta know something about them. You gotta know a little bit about their character. You gotta know if they operate in integrity. Hey, you gotta know, are they gonna get a kick out of not pulling the cord and seeing me splat on the ground? Are they gonna get a kick out of it? And see that's the question. Are you going to be able to handle it if I become more successful than you? That's that question.
That's that question.
You know what I mean? That's that question.
And
so
that's exactly what, oh my goodness, that's exactly what popped in my head, because they were all trying to get towards this one little bullseye that was on the ground. And their instructor was celebrating them no matter how far or close they were to the bullseye. Right. You celebrate your clients no matter how far or close, and the coach that you have should be able to celebrate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. This has been amazing.
I'm not doing no more. I quit, y'all. I quit. I'm not doing no more. So guys, before we go, I'll need you to let them know where they can find the book, where they can find you, how they can reach you on social media and off of social media as well.
So all of my books, I have about 12 books. All of them are on my website, MarilynEPorter.com or thescatterbrainedgenius.com. Both will take you to the same exact e-real estate. That's where I live at on the internet. And you can click on books and things. And right there, you will see not only the first book, but every subsequent book. They'll all be right there waiting for y'all to, grab one. I'm all over social media. You can catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook, all at the SBG Coach. I'm on LinkedIn at just Marilyn E. Porter. Listen, I'm so fly with it. I'm even on Tumblr at the SBG Coach, y'all. Like Tumblr, I'm hitting Tumblr. Like that's real serious business. And so Periscope, the SBG Coach, and then I just launched my YouTube channel. It's Days with METV. So y'all can find me, like I'm all over the place. And then there's always just my personal page. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm real funny about friend requests. I'm real funny. I probably got about 2,000 of them. Y'all gotta pass the litmus test, right? To get on the personal friends list. So look, this is my test. If I click on your thing and we have at least a minimum of 600 similar friends, then I'll go look at your profile. And we ain't connected to at least 600 of the same people, you just gonna sit there. I'm just keeping it real. Ain't no telling who's sitting on that list after these. It might be, Oprah might be sitting on the list.
Oh my goodness, I do the same thing. Like, it's people just waiting because I'm like, some of them is creepy. Some of them, they just joined Facebook like 3 days ago. Come on.
Listen, that business page is public. If you really want to get at me, holler at your girl over there. My personal page is my personal space. And so I'm not going to say that I have close personal relationships with all 3,000 of my friends, but they are all connected enough to people that are deep enough in my circle that if you come on my page and say something crazy, like I can run it back and say, hey, Altavi, so-and-so is your friend, and they did this on, like, holla at your girl. I'm about to block her, but you need to get with her.
Exactly. And so, guys, you know that this is another episode of the Speak Easy podcast, where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it means to be a speaker or an author as an entrepreneur. And then also, guys, if you would love to be a guest on the podcast, bit.ly/Speak Easy podcast, all lowercase. That is how you can sign up for your time slot to be a guest here on the show with me. As you see, you know you want to come on because it's so much fun. But I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for joining me today. And those who joined in, thank you so much for sharing out the broadcast, for coming in. Guys, you know that we'll always come back into the comments and engage with you. And if you're catching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, don't forget to press it out. See you guys.